now. Overnight service.
$500,000.
He was a track
80%
runner.
of them
He was a track runner with good heart. COVID-19 took his
To serve at restaurants. This is AP News. Millions of American families are about to get monthly payments to help with their children. Here's our Julie Walker.
39 million families are set to receive monthly child payments beginning on July 15th, according to the Treasury Department. The payments are part of the $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief package, which expanded the child tax credit for 1 year. Biden administration estimates 88% of children nationwide are eligible. Qualified families receive up to $300 per month for each child under 6, $250 per month for children 6 through 17. In most cases by direct deposit without any action required. The full payments are available for single parents making up to $75,000 a year, joint filers making up to $150,000. I'm Julie Walker.
The Dow closed down 54 points yesterday. The NASDAQ and the S&P were down too, 50 and 10 points.
Michael, I don't have any
AP
headphones.
Small Business Month is here, and Dell Technologies and Windows can help you upgrade your tech with up to 45% off high-performance PCs. Work anywhere with Windows 10 Pro. Call 877-ASK-DELL.
Okay, what was it you said over here? 137. I think it's 135, make sure.
You're listening to a two-way call-in talk show on WDAL Dayton. Now, when your calls are answered, please turn your radio down or turn it off. This helps not to get feedback. In subjects like consumption of pop or soft drink, fast food.
Tomorrow, over the next couple of weeks, you got to find your life, see how things in your life are going to change, because you're going to be making some changes.
Yep.
Remember, if you want things in your life to
Yep.
change,
Yep. Where is that?
life, you want things, you're going to change. Tomorrow, just excited, sometimes skeptical of this material, but it's your work. So it's really going to happen until in a couple of you kind of applying this in real life, and you're going to see how it's going to change.
Right there.
Expressions is an audience participation show. The views and opinions heard on Expressions are those of the guests and callers and do not necessarily reflect those of the staff, management, or sponsors.
I'll get some.
Be all right.
Tuesday morning. It is now time for Health is Wealth.
Am I on?
Health is Wealth is brought to you by Natural Foods Plus and the Juice to Boost for 2 locations, 2901 Philadelphia Drive and also 3070 Far Hills Avenue. Natural Foods Plus is more than a health food store. It's the home of the Juice to Boost. Health is Wealth is heard beginning at 9 a.m. each Tuesday morning. The views and opinions heard on Health is Wealth Talk Show are those of the callers and hosts and not necessarily of those of WDAO Radio, its staff, or management. And now, here he is, the host of Health is Wealth Talk Show, the better than good Rick Poole. Good morning, Rick Poole.
Good morning, Michael Exton.
How you doing?
I'm doing better than good. You know, I feel good. Really, really, really do. And I want to say good morning out there to all the listeners that's tuning in. And oh man, we're going to another level. We're on live with Facebook. So I want to say good morning to all the Facebook friends and also to the World Wide Web. Man, do I have a program planned for you this morning. And, I feel good. You stay tuned and you're going to be able to to learn why I feel good. And more important, we're going to learn some things about attitude and some things that you can do to make you feel good, all dealing with, of course, health. I just like to say that you all make this possible. For when you support Natural Foods Plus, and you support this type of programming. Natural Foods Plus, as Michael says, we have 2 wonderful locations. We have 2901 Philadelphia at the corner of Philadelphia and Siebenthaler. Been there 26 years, thanks to you. And 2901 Philadelphia, the phone number there is 937-279-0994. And our hours are Monday through Fridays, 8 to 8. Saturdays 9 to 7 and Sundays 11 to 5. Our second location, where we've been there for the second year, man, wonderful. 3070 Far Hills, 937-951-2966. That's the number there. And of course, you can go to 937. Oh, of course, you can go. I just had a little distraction here. Of course, you can go to naturalfoodsplus.com and learn more about what we're doing. Wonderful website. Yeah, maybe a little what I want to say, egotistical there in terms of the website, but we're making some wonderful changes there. On the website, you can go there. We're giving away a Austin air filter. You can learn more about the Super Tonic. You can learn more about what we do at Natural Foods Plus.
Hey, Rick, can we take a short pause?
We're going to take a short pause. Yeah, we're going to take a short pause and we'll be right back.
Expression is an audience participation show. The views and opinions.
We're back. For you all who may just be tuning in for the first time, what we do here on Health is Wealth is we discuss what I like to call natural, complementary, integrative approaches to health. And of course, I just like to say we do it with truth and honesty. Let me say that again. We do it with truth and honesty. I also like to let you know that I'm not a doctor, and that these are my opinions and beliefs. And these opinions and beliefs have been formed from me reading, from me studying, from me living this approach, this natural approach to health. And so what I try to do here, I try to bring you some facts, figures, and opinions from some of the leading national healthcare practitioners. And I ask you to use good sense, not common sense. Mama Whitlow says, young man, use good sense, not common sense, because what's common to one may not be common to another. So I ask you to use good sense. Man, we're being lied to, played on, and hoodwinked on so many different areas today. And so my mission and my purpose is to really just act as a conduit. You know, what I want to do is just give you a different perspective, and then I want to challenge you to use good sense. You make the decision. And but what's so unfortunate is that you've only been given one side of the story. You're not privy to the information and all the other information that man, I refer to myself as a research journalist. You know, I really try to look at different perspectives, read about different perspective, and then I come in and I try to share with you the different perspectives that may be challenging what we're being programmed today. Because believe me, we being programmed and conditioned, and there's a lot of information that's being censored. And so what I'm trying to do is giving you another perspective. And I'm asking you to question. For as Deepak Chopra says, it is only through questioning that we can break this hypnosis of social conditioning. And we're being programmed and conditioned on so many different fronts. I just like to say you don't have to be, we've been lied to, played on, and hoodwinked. You don't have to be a diabetic. You don't have to be overweight. You don't have to get and die from cancer. And you don't have to get COVID. But you do have to begin to take responsibility for your health. You have to take responsibility for your health. And so that's what I try to do here. My challenge is to challenge you to begin to take responsibility for your health. Man, you may see the armbands on. I had them on last week. Give you a little bit in terms of what the program is going to be about. These are B3 Science Dr. Mike. Let me slow down. My coach, I know my coach is listening, and she says, "Slow down, take a deep breath." And I'm going to do that. I'm going to slow down and take a deep breath and just remind myself I feel good. And okay, at 9:30, we're going to have Dr. Mike that's going to be joining us, and he's going to show and talk to us about blood flow resistance training. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of listeners out there. There's a lot of viewers out there that have issues and concerns. I had an email or text from a customer that wanted to learn how to gain weight and also, in terms of exercise. And so this blood flow resistance training really um, to continue, which is very, very important here, is to continue with my disclaimer. Is that what we do here? We discuss what I like to call mental, spiritual, social, and also emotional health, learning the importance of how the mind, the body, the spirit, and how emotions, how they're interconnected, very, very important, and how what we think, how our thoughts contributes to our actions. Our action is what we do every day. And so if we want to change the behavior of the habits, if we want to change the behavior of the masses, we can change the course of history by really beginning to change what you begin to think and who controls, be conscious and aware of what and who is programming the programmer. I just like to say that my mission and purpose here is to be non-judgmental. My mission and purpose is to try not to criticize. My mission and purpose is to try to provide information and knowledge that, if used correctly, I guarantee you will not only add value to your life, but also to your loved ones. And finally, I'd just like to say that the information provided is intended to educate you, the listener, about certain medical and social conditions and certain possible solutions to those conditions. It is not a substitute for examination, diagnosis, and medical care provided by a licensed and qualified health professional. If you believe you, your family, or someone you know may suffer from what we discuss on this program, please see your health care provider. Do not attempt to treat yourself, your family, or anyone else without proper medical supervision. That's a disclaimer that I like to open with. And so, again, I want to thank you all for tuning in, and also for tuning into Facebook and also to the live on WDAO here. Man, if you want things in your life to change, you got to change the things in your life. And I want to share something with you, Michael, if you would, because this is, all about change right now. We're going through so much, Michael. Um, Kevin Trudeau talks about change. If you would you share this?
How things in life you're going to make. Remember, if you want things in life to change, whether it's your finances, your relationships, your health, your weight, the way you feel. If you want things in your life to change, you're going to have to change things in your life. You can't think the way you've always thought. You can't continue to believe like you've always believed. You can't continue to do all the same things. Waking up at the same time, eating the same food, doing the same routines, saying the same words, thinking the same thoughts, hanging out with the same people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you're going to see some tremendous changes. By the way, somebody grabbed me at the break and said, "You call me king?"
Change. Yeah. I mentioned this before. That's a motivational tape by Kevin Trudeau, and he has a lot of principles that I like to listen to, and time to time I come on the show and I'll share some of those principles. But change is so very, very important, and I challenge you, to think about that and to change some of the habits. As we want to bring about changing the behavior of the masses is very, very important. Michael, this is by if you would cue that up, that's by the Minister of Wellness. I'm gonna come back to that, but I have a couple announcements too. I want to share, and one is at the South Store, 3070 Far Hills, every Saturday, and this is the key. This is the key. Every Saturday, we have injectable vitamins from 2 to 4. And when I say the key, this is the key to boosting your immune system. Mask is important, social distancing, all of that. There's vaccines and vaccinations, and but it's interesting that we haven't heard very much about how to boost your immune system, and that's the key. I don't want to talk about masks. I don't want to talk about vaccines and all of that, because that's not a win-win situation. And so what I do want to tell you, though, you want to talk about a win-win situation is boosting your immune system. And that's the key. I read a book back in the early 80s that helped develop and formulate my foundation of my belief system. And the name of the book was The Cancer Answer by Albert Carter. And on the cover of the book, which I've shared many, many times, Albert Carter says that we're not being told the truth about cancer. This is in 1981. He said cancer is a naturally occurring condition. And it's true. A healthy immune system is our really only defense against cancer. And so when you think about any chronic metabolic issue, a healthy immune system is the key. All those other things. And what is interesting, the power elite don't talk about a healthy immune system. So that's what we're going to focus in on. We're going to focus in on how to build a healthy immune system. And then from 9:30 to 10 today, we're going to talk about exercise, which is so very, very important. And we may go from 10 to 10:30. We'll see. But a healthy immune system is the key. And so I've collaborated with an organization that's called Ingenious Health and Wellness, um, owned and operated by Alindra McGee. She's a DPN, an APRN, and a CNP. I don't know what all those acronyms stands for, but I know she's a registered nurse, and also Felicia Dickerson. So on Saturdays, between 2 and 4, you can come to the Kettering location, and that's 3070 Far Hills, between 2 and 4, and you can get injectable vitamins. And we have a list of different vitamins. We can get vitamin B12. You can get super B12, B complex. You can get vitamin D3. She has a tri-immune boost shot. And so what these do, these are injectable vitamins that get right into the system and bypasses the digestive tract and goes right to boosting the immune system, which is very, very important. Also, if you've never been to Natural Foods Plus, and in either store, you go into the store and you see a rainbow. You follow that rainbow, and that's where you will find healing and rejuvenation. Let me say that again. You follow the rainbow and you go back to the juice caboose, and that's where you will find healing and rejuvenation. Why? Is because we have whole food cellular supplements there. Supplements that goes down to the cellular level. And that's what's so very, very important. This morning, my regime, I've already had my E3 Live. Also, the stronger portion of the E3 Live is called Brain On. And I've also had the gift. I've had a shot of, I've had my iodine. I've had all my whole food cellular supplements. But when you come to Natural Foods Plus, you go back to the juice bar, you can get a shot of our super tonic, which is an old ancient remedy for inflammation, fever, flu, and colds. I started up this morning. I took an ounce of that. These are things that's going to boost your immune system. And I'm telling you, that's the key. Boost your immune system. And so you can get a shot of wheatgrass. Let me say something about wheatgrass because we don't have any right now. And I've reached out to the company that actually produces our wheatgrass. I haven't been pleased with the wheatgrass. And so we're looking at contacting Hippocrates Health Institute and finding out how we can make and produce a better quality of wheatgrass. So bear with us as we get there. You know, my mission and my purpose and our objective is always to provide you with the best. I deserve the best. You deserve the best. We're going to have the best. I'm telling you, when you come to Natural Foods Plus, you're going to have the best in the universe. And we have whole food cellular supplements that you cannot find in any other place. No other place can you find My Body Symphony. My Body Symphony, a whole food cellular supplement line produced by Dr. Max McLeod. You can't find no place in the state of Ohio. Mother Earth Labs. Mother Earth Labs produces the gift, also humic and fulvic, pH balance, and comprehensive wellness. Also, Premier Research Lab. That's a vitamin line that's been in existence for more than 30 years, developed by Dr. Marshall. And we are the only health food store in the southern part of Ohio that has Premier Research Labs. And so when you come to the Natural Foods Plus and you go to the juice bar, you will get whole food cellular supplements. And don't let me forget to mention, I had 2 of these yesterday. I'm gonna slow down. Is the Emerald Treasure with flax. Unbelievable. We've created that Natural Foods Plus. That's our signature smoothie. It has alfalfa, wheatgrass, spirulina. It has plant-based protein. It has a tablespoon of flaxseed oil, and of course we use almond milk, almond beverage. It's not a milk, but that particular smoothie, I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. It goes down to the cellular level. It's like a meal in a cup. And so you start your day. You start your day with the Emerald Treasure, or you start your day. This in this bottle here is what I have is the man. It's a green goddess. That's what it is. It's the green goddess. It's a vegetable juice. It's the green goddess that's cold pressed, and this green goddess has kale, um, parsley, kale, parsley, cucumber, and celery. It has 4 green, and then I also put a tablespoon of liposomal vitamin C, and I also put a teaspoon of zinc. And so that's how I start my day, with whole food cellular supplements. You get the green goddess, which is green, or you start your day with the Emerald Treasure, which is alfalfa, wheatgrass, spirulina. You see all of those things that I'm bombarding my body with whole food cellular supplements. And I'm telling you, you do that with the right mindset, with exercise, man, it's unbelievable what you can do, We're getting close to the bottom of the hour. I want to share, last week, this is why I want to, I talked about the fact that they are censoring. So I challenge you to ask the question, why are they censoring? Why is it that there's a group of doctors called frontline doctors, over 100 of them, over 100. Their credentials are more impressive than some of the doctors that we see, Fauci and all the other ones. But I ask you, why have they been censored? Why can't they be on Facebook and YouTube and Google? They've been taken off. My whole point is asking you to give you the information so you can make an intelligent decision of where you want to do. But the power elite censors that. And so last week, what I did, I brought you a local doctor, Dr. Patrick Jonas, and I want to review what Dr. Jonas talked about last week. This is a local doctor that I know personally, graduated from high school. From high school, he went to West Point. When he came back from West Point, he went into the Vietnam as a helicopter pilot. Once he returned from Vietnam, he went to the Ohio State University, and he got his medical degree. He's been practicing medicine for more than 20 years, but he's also very knowledgeable, and he seeks information from a holistic standpoint. He's not one of those white coat wearing doctors that think they know everything. And so last week, prevention and treatment of COVID-19, long haulers. And so what he did, he shared last week a protocol that he has been using, that the frontline doctors have been using, and that has been very effective in treating COVID. But he shared last week also that he's been taken off of Facebook, YouTube. And so my question to you is why? Why? And so again, if you want to know more about his protocol, he shared the fact that in 2020, he treated over 220 patients for COVID, and his success rate was unbelievable. I think only 1. And so here's a protocol that he uses. And it's interesting that part of that protocol included vitamin C, vitamin D3, quercetin, zinc, and melatonin. And so again, I challenge you. Local doctor 937-427-7540 is his phone number. He's a family physician at Neighborly. That's what he calls his business. Family physician at Neighborly Family Medicine Company. We're going to take a short pause. Man, that first half hour went quick. And when we return, we're going to learn more about these here, blood flow resistance band, and we're going to have Dr. Mike from 9:30 to 10. And I know I have a caller on. Caller, if you stay there, I'll take your call before we go to Dr. Mike. Michael.
WDAO, AM 1210 and FM 102.3, where the rhythm is longer and stronger.
I'm Rita Foley with an AP News Minute. Israel and Hamas have been battling throughout the
Where
day.
is it you wanted to go with this?
That's okay. Let me have it back. We're going to go into Dr. Mike. And tuning in to what I like to call the best show on radio, and you make it possible. For when you support Natural Foods Plus, then you support this type of programming. Natural Foods Plus, the Juice Caboose, 2 wonderful locations, 2901 Philadelphia at the corner of Philadelphia and Siebenthaler, and also 3070 Far Hills in Kettering. Open 7 days a week, Mondays through Fridays, 8 to 8, Saturdays, 9 to 7. And on Sundays at the North location, we're open there from 11 to 5, and we're closed at the South location on Sundays. Oh, man. We're going to see. Do we still have that call on the line, Michael? I'm going to go to this caller before I go to Dr. Mike. Good morning, caller. Question or comment? Okay, thank you for calling in. And again, 937-457-1210 if you have any questions or comments. And so what we're going to do now, man, I'm going to introduce you to Dr. Mike. And can we go to Dr. Mike? Dr. Mike. Oh, okay. Does he have the number? He's on the screen. What is he? Dr. Mike, have you called in? We got listeners out there. What's the number, Michael, he needs to call?
Yeah, it's Dr. Mike. I just got disconnected.
He can call 457-937-457-1210.
Yeah, Doc. So we see you on the screen on Facebook, but Doc, call 937-457-1210 so the listeners out there can also tune in.
I'm waiting. It's Dr. Mike.
Hold on.
Okay, all right here. We had a little technical problems, but we always work with the problems and they always work out. Okay. Good morning, Doc.
Rick, how you doing?
Oh, wonderful, Doc. We're going to start off. I'm hearing a little echo there, Michael.
That's on his end.
Okay. Doc, tell us a little bit about yourself, and before we go into B3 Science.
You bet. Well, you know, Rick, I grew up in the wonderful Dayton area there, and have been excited to be part of your program. Love your store. Every time I come to town, I stop in your store and load up on some great stuff. I think the last time I was there, we talked about what was that stuff? Fulvic acid, the fulvic stuff. Yeah, and I've got some of that. So to all your listeners out there, love his store. Make sure you stop in and get some awesome stuff. So I went to University of Dayton and I became a sports chiropractor. I practiced there in the great area of Dayton, Ohio. Treated a lot of athletes, treated the Dayton Flyers, Wright State Raiders, Cincinnati Bengals. And then I retired, sold my practice, and then I got into health and fitness. And about 6 or 7 years ago, we found this Japanese secret to exercise. Now, let me start by sharing with you what your definition of exercise should be, because we're all familiar with two types of exercise. There's the, people that go for a walk and they get on the treadmill and they do some light movement and their body really never changes. And then there's a group of people that exercise at a very high intensity level. Think Olympic athletes. Think people who do 45 minutes of CrossFit, slamming the ropes, flipping the tires, and they're sore the next day. Why is it that the bodies of those two different people are dramatically different? Well, it's very simple. Without getting into a lot of physiology, I've got the most simplest way for you to know if you are getting the kind of exercise you need. Do you feel the burn, the lactic acid burn when you're exercising? When you go for a walk, are your legs burning? Probably not. When you go for a bike ride, are your legs burning? Probably not. When you get on the treadmill or the elliptical, are your legs or arm burning from lactic acid? Probably not. But if you sprint or go up and down the steps until you can't do anymore, do some weightlifting or do some explosion movements, you feel the burn. Why is that so important? Well, there's a thing called growth hormone. And, Rick, you and I have talked about it. It's the most powerful substance in the human body. And when you do exercise where you create this lactic acid, you get a growth hormone release. And growth hormone is the most powerful substance, again, in the human body. It can turn back the clock 10, 15 years, makes your skin, hair, and nails look and feel younger. It adds muscle, it burns fat, it increases your metabolism. It makes your bones stronger for people who are concerned about osteoporosis. It reverses cardiovascular disease for people who are concerned about atherosclerosis and hardening the arteries. So the first thing I want you to understand in our conversation today is you don't have to be a personal trainer, and we've got millions of awesome personal trainers in the world. You don't have to be a doctor or scientist. Here's what you need to know. Are you doing exercise on a daily basis where you feel that lactic acid burn in your muscles? Because if you are, you're going to live a completely different life. I mean, look at Rick. Just look at him. Look how lean and muscular this guy is. He never gets sick. Why does he look this way? Why does his body function? You've learned about all the great stuff he puts in his body, but he gets exercise that releases growth hormone. And here's the great thing. You can get it at 20, 40, 60, 80, even 100 years old. It's sitting right here in your pituitary gland. And all you have to do is tap into it. And every time you tap into it and get a growth hormone release that turns back the clock, makes you younger, feel better, your pituitary is going to make more. You get it for your entire life. And here's the shame in all of this. So many people, 98, 99% of people go through their entire lives after they are a teenager or early college age, and they don't tap into this growth hormone. It just sits there and it goes to waste. And then we wonder, why are we aging fast? Why are we putting on weight? Why can't we lose weight? Why is our cardiovascular system deteriorating? Why do we start having memory problems? Why do our bones start becoming brittle? It's because you're not getting that wonderful daily release of growth hormone. So about 7, 8 years ago, we found a secret in Japan that is completely changing how everybody exercises. But I want to go back to Rick for a second now. And Now, Rick, now that you kind of got an idea of what we're talking about, Rick might want to give you a little story about how he's using the bands, and then we'll talk about what they do.
I do. First of all, I want to. These are bands that actually, what they do, they restrict the blood flow. This is a little pump here. So I put this pump on here, and I pump it, and what it does, it restricts the blood flow. And so I pump this one, and then I pump this one, and then there's two bands that I put on my. There's one band on my right thigh and also on my left thigh. And like I worked out yesterday. I work out sometimes twice a day now, and I'm telling you, Doc, I want you to come back and explain more what the blood flow resistance does. But there's a couple things I want to share. I found out about this probably I don't know, Doc. I know you came through and you gave every Saturday morning we used to have come meet the doctors of the future. And I know you came and you gave a presentation there, and we had about 4 or 5 people actually purchase the product and using the product. And I initially had found out about the product from Dr. McCullough. And he initially, in January of 2020, there was an article, What You Need to Know About Blood Flow Resistance Training. And Doc, I want you to talk a little bit more about the gentleman that actually discovered it. I have a picture here. He is 73 years old.
Yep.
And I wish that you could see. He's probably 75 now. Mm-hmm. But the way this man looks and what he does. But if you go to drmccullough.com, you can find out more about what you need to know about blood flow resistance training. But also, there was I want to share an article that the single fastest muscle and bone strengthener. And again, I believe it's one of the greatest innovations in the last century, actually acting as a fertilizer for growing more blood vessels as you exercise. Backed by over 650 studies, it seems almost too good to be true. The results it can achieve in 4 to 6 weeks are mind-boggling. Blood flow resistance trainer. This was in December of 2019. So when I initially began to start finding out about this and start doing research, then I found out about Dr. Mike. Local Daytonian, and man, he has a company called B3 Science, and he actually produces the bands. So I'm gonna let him talk more about the bands and how blood flow resistance actually helped. But I'm telling you, so he also explained that if you were working out, and so you can, if you were doing an hour, well, you can work out with these bands and decrease that amount of time and accomplish the same results in about 20 minutes. And so I'm gonna let Doc explain a little bit more, but I believe in them. I've been using them, and then what is it, Doc? Is it sarcopenia?
Sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, this is the honest God truth. About a couple of years ago, I looked and my gluteus maximus was beginning. I said, man, no, I said that's a muscle, and it's turning into wrinkles.
Yeah.
And so I said no. And then I find out about blood flow resistance. If you see my thighs and my gluteus buttocks now in terms of where I am with this here and exercising every day, unbelievable. So Doc, tell us a little bit more about your blood flow resistance and what you do there with that.
You bet, Brett. So let me give everybody a visual. If you can see my hands, great. If you can't, I'll explain it to you. When blood is flowing, it's bringing oxygen into your muscles. That's called the flow rate of 10. So you've got your muscles that have a steady supply of oxygen. What do I mean? Well, remember the movie Forrest Gump? Forrest went for a run, didn't he? Now, how far did he run? He ran forever and ever and ever. Why is that? Because oxygen is flowing in, which is the fuel for the muscle, faster than he's using it. So imagine a teeter-totter. Over on the high side, we've got more oxygen than available than what you're using, which means you never fatigue. Or if we go back to my story, you never produce lactic acid, you never feel the burn, you never get growth hormone. So our entire civilization and science has been based on how can we exercise harder, different, with different fads and different gimmicks to increase usage of oxygen, meaning I need to exercise at a rate that uses oxygen higher than a 10. What is that? I got to run up and down the stairs. I got to do box jumps. I got to bang ropes. I got to lift heavy weights. You got to do something real high intensity to get to where you're using more oxygen than is flowing in from your blood. Now, when you do that, let's say you're using oxygen at an 11. You're sprinting, you're doing heavy weights, all the things most people don't like to do. You start producing lactic acid. That's exercise. That's how you get the growth hormone. Use more oxygen with high intensity than is available. But this smart Japanese doctor figured out the other side of the equation that nobody's bothered to look at. What if we take this flow of oxygen that's up here at a 10 and we reduce the oxygen flow into the muscle so that the available oxygen is not flowing at a 10, it's only flowing at a 5. An absolute revolutionary breakthrough, the greatest breakthrough in human performance that's ever been figured out. Now, your oxygen's only flowing at a 5. You've got to exercise at a level that is above 5. Guess what that would be? Walking, lifting 1-pound dumbbells, doing air squats, going for a ride on your bike, mowing the yard, getting on the elliptical machine. All of a sudden, exercise, light exercise, like Rick's talking about, that would never create lactic acid and produce growth hormone, now fatigues your muscles like you're doing something super high intensity. Let me give you an example. You go for a walk and you got the bands on. About a minute into the walk, you're going to feel your legs start burning. What's it feel like? It feels like you're running sprints. It feels like you're running uphill. Let me give you another example. You're walking around your house and you're cleaning and you stop and you do 5 light air squats. No weights on your shoulders, no weights in your hands. You just squat down and come up, squat down and come up, and a level that doesn't hurt. And you start feeling the burn in your leg muscles, and it feels like you're squatting 150 pounds. Or you get on your treadmill at home, or your bike, or you mow the yard, and within a minute or two, you start to feel this lactic acid burn. It's a complete breakthrough. Now, so what are the bands doing? Well, you might think blood flow restriction, it's cutting off blood flow. No, it's not. It's not cutting off blood flow at all. When we put these bands on our arms, it's a gentle squeeze, and there's individual air pockets in there. If you see the little baffles here on our bands, it's not a tourniquet. It's not a blood pressure cuff. It's not going to cut off your blood flow. So what does it do? It simply slows down this blood flow that's closer to the surface, nowhere near deep where the artery is. If I was to check my pulse, or you check your pulse, your blood's pumping in just as much as normal. But now the blood is flowing back to the heart slower, which means the muscle can't get oxygen as fast, and we've cut the oxygen in half. And what does that do? I want you to imagine you work out for 10 minutes a day, but you don't work out. You go for a walk, or you get some 1-pound dumbbells, or you do some air squats, or you go for a ride on your bike, or you mow your yard, or you do some chores. If you love the gym, you go to the gym and you lift light weights. And you're going to feel a wonderful lactic acid burn, and your muscles are going to get all pumped up like your Popeye. You're going to feel like a Superman. And guess what else is going to happen? You're not going to be sore the next day. You're not going to need any recovery time, but your body is going to produce growth hormone. And it is completely changing how America exercises. Now, who's using it? Mark Wahlberg, the movie star, Dr. Mercola, Dr. Oz, the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, most of the USA Olympic weightlifting teams. Average everyday people from 8 to 90 years old, 12,000 of them now in just about a year and a half, we've got using the bands like Rick. People in wheelchairs, people who are 100 pounds overweight, losing weight incredibly fast. When you turn on growth hormone with this exercise, everything's going to change. Like Rick said, you're going to put on muscle, you're going to lean up, you're going to lose fat, your bones are going to get stronger. Like Rick said, the cardiovascular system is going to produce better blood vessels. New, it's called angiogenesis. Can help actually reverse cardiovascular disease, bring your blood pressure down. It can make your bones stronger. It can improve circulation into your brain to protect your brain. It turns on the thyroid gland. We've got tons of women who were hypothyroidism. Ladies listening, you know what that is. You get tired, you get sluggish, your metabolism slows down. You know why you have hypothyroidism? Because you're not exercising. The thyroid, when you get older, functions when you exercise and get the burn through a substance called thyroid stimulating hormone. I won't go into all the science for you, but just know this. If you don't exercise, you're heading straight to hypothyroidism. You're heading straight to osteoporosis. You're heading straight to cardiovascular disease, and you're heading straight to neurodegenerative brain dysfunction. That's how the body works. If you do exercise and get a growth hormone release, you're probably going to realize your genetic potential. 95, 100, 105, 110. I mean, look at Rick. I mean, Rick's going to easily see 100 years old unless he steps out in front of a car, which I don't think he's going to do. And that's how the body works. So this is just a super exciting breakthrough that everybody's starting to hear about. And then over the next 5 years, it's going to be the greatest exercise breakthrough that we've ever seen.
It's not about how long we're going to live. It's about the quality of life right now.
Yeah.
You know, I could leave here tomorrow, man, but it's about the quality of life right now. How do you feel right now? When I tell you, I feel good, there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
And first of all, I'll talk about emotions. And so feeling good physically is one, but emotionally, that's the key. And so when you emotionally feel good and then physically feel good, and then how do you feel good physically? And that's what I was sharing with you this morning. And Doc, I know, matter of fact, you have a component that talks about nutrition. Nutrition is so very, very important. And those are some of the things that I shared this morning in terms of the whole food cellular supplements that you find at our juice bar. The gift, the E3 Live, the Brain On, the wheatgrass. These are whole food cellular supplements that goes down to the cellular level. And so now what we have, you know, you're giving the body what it needs to rebuild, reheal, and rejuvenate the cells. And then we're exercising. And then we also mentally, you know, is that component is so very, very important. Now you've heard it mentioned growth hormones. Some of you all may not know that the growth hormone testosterone. Doc, when we come back, I want you to talk about a little bit about that. But to find out more, Doc's going to share with you some information you can go to. But you know, I share Dr. Mercola. You know, one of the I have an article here on January the 20th of 2020. I guess when I first was in December the 1st, 2019, the headlines basically said the single fastest muscle and bone strengthener. And he says, I believe it's one of the greatest innovations of the last century. It's not new. It's been in Japan for 20 some years, right, Doc?
Oh yeah, they discovered it in the 60s.
Yeah,
It's been around for almost 60 years.
This doc has been doing this for 20 some years or more.
Yeah.
And then there's another article on January the 20th where he says, finally, there's a simple exercise that's suitable for almost everyone, especially the elderly, that can lower the risk of osteoporosis, sarcopenia at the same time. So what is osteoporosis and what is sarcopenia? Doc, I want you to talk a little bit more about that. And then also boost bone formation and helps prevent the breakdown of bone density while improving aerobic capacity and cardiovascular endurance. Telling you, excellent exercise. We're getting close to the top of the hour, and we're not going to go the extra half hour this morning. So if you got any questions or comments, I want you to call. I guess you can't call 937-457-1210. Oh, you can?
No, we won't be able to put them both on at the same time.
But you can call in. I won't have both of them at the same time, but you can call in. But Doc, address some of those other things, and then how can they find out more about this if they're interested? And Doc, you know, I'm ready to have to bring back the doctors of the future, and so we're going to do this again, maybe on a Saturday morning. We're bringing back, and maybe we're going to do it by Zooming and so forth. But you know, this past year has been, you know, it's been a challenge for so many different in areas of our life. But we're going to create the norm that we want. And so, Doc, a couple of those other issues I talked about, I want you to talk about, and how can they contact, learn more, and we will bring back Dr. Mike and B3 Science. You want to tell us a little bit about B3 Science and the bands, Doc?
Yeah. So real quick, sarcopenia is real simple. Sarcopenia is a loss of muscle. When you lose muscle in the body, and which basically is a decay, there's a biodirectional relationship, meaning an equal decay of your body. You lose muscle, you lose brain. You lose muscle, you lose cardiovascular system. You lose muscle, you lose bone density. That's how it works. That's why Harvard, every doctor wants seniors 50, 60, 70, 80 to do strength training. But they can't, it's too hard. Those people can't tolerate the loads to feel the burn of exercise to get the growth hormone to hold off sarcopenia. Now, completely different what we can do with the bands. And osteoporosis, it's the same thing. If you are working out your body and exercising and feeling the burn, you're not going to get osteoporosis because your body's going to adapt and keep your bones strong. If you're not getting the burn, and we see this, people who exercise, people who walk, still get osteoporosis. Why? They're not exercising at a level to produce growth hormone. They're exercising and not feeling the burn. So if you're currently exercising and you don't feel any light burn or lactic acid, you're really not going to make a lot of adaptive changes in your body because you're not stimulating all these wonderful messenger hormones like growth hormones. So how do you get started? Go out to b3sciences.com, and Rick's got a special website, but start by going out there to b3sciences.com, watch that 4-minute video, and then underneath that 4-minute video, I've built 20 different topics, everything from lose weight, rehab, if you're physically challenged, bone health, brain health, heart health, veins, do you have varicose veins, thyroid, 20 different health topics. I want you to pick the one that applies to you. Click on it, and I do another video that explains the science. And you heard Rick talk, 650 different studies, papers, peer reviews, case studies.
To cut it short, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day. We will be back real soon. I don't know about next week, but B3 Science, blood flow resistance bands, I'm telling you, that's another option that you may have. We're going to take, well, we're getting close to the top of the hour, and I want to say thanks for joining me. Thanks for making it happen. This program is not government sponsored, so when you support Natural Foods Plus, you support this type of programming. Keep on keeping on. Stay positive. Think positive. Surround yourself with positive, principle-centered people. Look, listen, and read positive things. Talk to yourself in the positive. Develop your plan. Work your plan. Believe, and it will happen. Thank you, Doc. Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks, Rick.
I didn't want to go that extra half hour, man.